Hi, Stitchy friends. Welcome back. I'm Terry, and this is Mother Buck Cross Stitch, and this is FlossTube number 5. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I'm trying to stay on schedule, and we're going to start out with some whips. I have a couple of finishes, and I have some plans that I'll share with you for the future as well. I'll start out with the first whip. This is the Wave Ball by, let me see who it's by Counting the Stars on Etsy. I'll show you a picture of what it's supposed to look like and where I was last. And I think if we zoom way down in, you can see actually the white stitches. I did another 317 stitches on this. It is on 16 count white Aida 2/1, and I almost have all of the white done in here now, almost. There is a lot, in fact the entire pattern just about is confetti, and that is really, really time consuming. It's a lot of fun, and I love the way that it looks when it's finished, so I'm anxious to continue with it. I'll be really glad when I get out of the center area and get into more of the blues, because those blues and turquoises are really the colors that I love. So that one we did a little bit on. It is now only 13.9% finished. I would like to get up to at least maybe 17% soon. We'll see how it goes, but you'll be seeing it again. My next whip is actually one of the SALs, and it was the Farm Fresh SAL. And I got caught up. I have one more motif like this to go here, and I have the top of this jar right here. And the only reason I didn't do that was because I was looking for that floss, and I don't think I have it. I think I have to purchase it. It is 2/1 on 14 count blue Aida. The newest piece just came out, and I'll show you a picture of it. We've got a little basket of cherries in this corner right here, and that's one reason I finished this motif. I knew that corner was coming next, and I wanted to make sure I had something to count from going this way as well. So I will finish that motif and this corner and whatever the next motif is probably before you see it again. I do like the way it's turning out. This is the one that is 3/1, which I'm not fond of on 14 count, but it does look nice this way. So I'm continuing to struggle through the 3/1. I think I am, let's see, for the for the part 1 through 4, I am 76.2% done. So it's mostly just this and this motif here. And we'll do the 5th part and the 6th part hopefully before we meet next time. But I do like the way it's turning out. I think it's going to be really cute. I still have some back stitching to do as well. I haven't done any of the back stitching, and I normally do that as I go. Excuse me. There's not a whole lot on this particular pattern, but I will start doing it just so I don't have it all left over at the end. The next thing I have is, actually, it came up, I talked last time about starting using the whip wheel if I had a day when I really just didn't know what to pick up. So I did have one day when I used the whip wheel, and it actually came up with the 2023 Black Stitch Blackwork SAL from Tangled Threads and Things that I started last year. I had 2 small parts to finish, which I did finish, and I had the border to finish. And last time we met, I think I told you I had just barely started the border. Well, since it came up on the whip wheel, I went ahead and finished the border. So this one is a fully finished piece now. I like the way it looks. I do wish now that I had chosen brighter colors, but at the time when I was working on it, I enjoyed it. Now I'm getting kind of blasé about it. I'm not sure if I love the colors or not, but I think I will. I think part of it is because I did it on ivory. This was 1/1 14 count ivory Ada, and I had to finish it in hand because some of these borders were so close to my Q-snap or my hoop, which took a little bit more time. In total, I don't have stitch count on this because it's a paper chart, but I think I probably spent maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours finishing the border, and that was it. This I don't think, I don't know how I would make it an FFO. It might be just in a frame because I do want to do some more black work, but I'm not really sure. Once I decide what my next black work piece will be, then it might kind of solidify it in my mind as to how I want to fully finish it. But I'm glad it's done. It's actually a finish that I'm really happy about. Next is another SAL, and this is my big one. It is the Monster House, and excuse the fact it's still in the Q-snaps, but I was actually just working on it. And this one I have catching up to do on it. This is part 1 here. This is the beginning of part 2. Part 3 just came out today. I'll show you here. And also, this is how far I was last time. And now here we are today. Part 3 will be on this side. There are some ghosts and more of this serpent type thing that's looks like it's coming out from under the ground. I like working on this. I enjoyed the colors. Obviously, they're not colors that I would normally put together, but I like the contrast. It really speaks Halloween to me. I have some back stitching still to do here, as well as some of this side piece on part 1. And then I can get started on part 2. There's some more I need to fill in up here. And hopefully I will be at least partially done with part 3. This one only comes out every 2 weeks. I don't think I mentioned it is on 14 count pale green Ada 2/1. And it comes out every 2 weeks, which is good because it gives me some time, because the pieces are a little bit large for me if I'm doing anything else. If I'm only doing this, that's one thing. But I did get a lot of stitches in this 2 weeks. I got 1,652 stitches in this past 2 weeks. And for just these 2 parts, I was 59.8% done. So that's good. At least I'm trying to keep up with it. That's the problem with me and SALs, is that sometimes I really have a problem keeping up with them. I had mentioned before that I wasn't sure if I was going to do any more SALs. And of course, then one of my favorite magazines, I believe it's Just Cross Stitch. I got 2 the other day. One was Cross Stitcher, and one was Just Cross Stitcher. No, Just Cross Stitch. And I'm not sure which one it was in. I'll let you know, and I'll post it. But it has a brand new SAL in it that is for 12 months. It's a wheel, and it has like pie-shaped pieces for each month, and it starts with September. So I'm really, really considering starting that one as well, because it has a month in between each piece. So if I do start that one, you'll see it in my next video. And that is actually all of my actual cross-stitching. I spent a lot of time on Monster House. I spent a lot of time looking at new things because I wanted to start some new things. I have a couple of things. I have picked out my next Christmas project. I just have to get the fabric for it. And I have picked out another Joan Elliott piece, which is the Sea Mermaid, I believe the name is, that I need to get the fabric for as well. And I did finally decide on which full coverage I would do. And I am going to do the Home is Where My Cat Naps, which is finished is 15 by 21 inches, so it's biggie, big for me, and full coverage. So I have the fabric for this, I believe. So hopefully by next time I'll have this one started as well. I'm anxious to it. I love this picture, so I think I'm going to really have fun doing it. And as I said, it's been several years since I've done a full coverage, and I'm anxious to get started. The Christmas one that I've decided on is this one, and this was from Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine, January 2012. And I do need to get some fabric for it. The fabric that I have that this would work with is in an ivory, and I definitely want to do it in a white. So I have to get the fabric for that, and I will start on that one. But I think it's just adorable with all the little characters and the way the letters have candy in them, and it'll be a great holiday project. Next, I have my haul, and I actually, I have one more finish. I have this. This is called Holiday Lamb, and let's see, it's by Carol Siegel, and it was in a pamphlet called 100 cross-stitch Christmas ornaments. And there's some gorgeous ornaments in there, all by Carol. This one has another one to go with it called Holiday Duck that matches it, and I will be doing it next. This one was a lot of fun to do. It's a paper project, so I don't have a stitch count on it. It's not very much. It took probably about 4 hours for me to complete, but I really love the way it looks. I want to make it into a little pillow, a little stuffed pillow with a hanging cord so that I can hang it on a garland. I had to think of the word for a minute. So I can hang it on a garland. And I have a picture of, this is the picture of the Holiday Duck right here. And as you see, it's the same style. And I think they're going to be adorable together. I think there are a lot more. I want to do a bunch of these to go on the garland. And there are several from that same magazine, just in different styles, that I may actually use. But I love the way this turned out. And it was fun to work on. It was also working in hand because it was so small. Now I have some haul. My favorite thing so far this time was I bought a yard of 16 count easy grid white, and I'm anxious to use this. This may be what I use for my full coverage Home is Where My Cat Naps. If it is, then I'm ready to go with that. I'm just not sure. I need to look at it again and see if the 16 count will be appropriate. But I love the easy grid. It's not real easy for me to find locally. And the fact that I was able to find it was a plus, and I was really thrilled about that, especially getting a whole yard of it. And the other things I've had been wanting some pins to grid because I couldn't find the easy grid fabric. I was wanting some pins to grid my fabric, and I wanted them to be, I had tried washable pins before that I didn't have very much luck with, plus the tips were usually thicker than I wanted. They were a higher millimeter than worked well for me on fabric. And I was able to find these. It's the same company, it's Friction by Pilot, and it was just a different style for each one of them. But it gave me a different color. I have sort of a pink, a purple, and a blue, and they are not only friction erasable if you use them on paper, but they're also heat activated, disappear with heat. So just a light touch of an iron, and I did a little bitty sample piece here, and you can see I have the red or rose color, the purple, and the blue, and I was marked all the way across. Hopefully you can see this. And then I just touched it barely. I mean, it wasn't pressure or anything with my iron, and you can see it completely erased it. So I'm anxious to use those. especially since I can't find the Easy Grid very easily. Can't find the Easy Grid readily here. So that was part of my haul. Not much, but it was, I enjoyed it. And the other thing is something that I just got hold of this morning. And my son has a 3D printer. And he makes thread drops for me, and he makes places for me to, a grid work panel that I have where I hang all of my floss. Just anything I can find that I want, he can find a way to print it for me. I had seen a pattern for these. These are grid rulers. And he brought those to me just this morning. And they also have an 11 count, but I don't ever use 11 count fabric. So I have 14, 16, 18, and 20 count. And you can use it as a ruler, as well as where these cutouts are, 10 and 5 stitches for each of the counts. So if I'm going along, I can mark 10, I can mark 10, I can mark 10. They're going to be really, really helpful for me. And I was thrilled to death to get these. And I think I'm going to be wanting to use them all the time. It will make no difference whether I have, and with the new pins, it'll make no difference if I have the gridded fabric, the Easy Grid fabric or not. Not a big haul, but I don't do a haul very often, so it was big for me. And I think that's about it for today. It's not a very long video today. Hopefully we'll have a little more content next time. Thanks for joining me today. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment and subscribe and come back and visit me again in 2 weeks when we come back and share stitching and hauls and plans and all of that good stuff. Until next time, happy stitching.